I want to talk about AstroBot because I think it's worth noting up top here that not only is AstroBot one of our games of the year, because I know you really enjoyed it as well, but also the official Game Awards Game of the Year. It won this very, very recently at time of recording. And it's notable because it beat out a range of what certain people would call proper games, because it beat the second part, the Final Fantasy VII remake. It beat Black Myth Wukong that you mentioned in passing earlier. It beat Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, which was included in that conversation for them, despite being a game built with a much smaller budget, a much smaller team, a much smaller scope, and within a genre that basically no one outside of Nintendo has given even cursory glance to for years. And I really, really, really hope it acts as a wake-up call to other developers, not just Sony, both big and small up and down the land, to encourage proper playfulness in game design again, because AstroBot is the best 3D platforming game of this generation. So far, I would say absolutely. I think AstroBot is the best 3D platforming game since Super Mario Odyssey on any platform. I think AstroBot is very likely in the conversation for top 5 3D platformers of all time. And depending on your individual predilections, it may very well top that list for some people if they're not particularly invested in Nintendo and Mario. If that's always put you off for some reason because you see it as, it's the kiddie one, isn't it? With the little plumber in the cap. If you're not into that, AstroBot is the acceptable face of Mario for someone that has a PlayStation. It's great. And it is an astonishingly polished, inventive game that prioritizes just having fun at every step. And it's welcoming, it's enjoyable, whether you're 10 years old or close to 40 like we are, it's just a good time. It's sizable enough to feel like you get your money's worth, but it's not so big that it feels unmanageable. And you'll want to replay levels because they're just fun. It doesn't mean you're always going to get something new out of it. It's just a case of I want to go on that ride again, when you go to a theme park. And just because cutting about as AstroBot feels really good, you're never asked to grind for materials or replay a tedious challenge to level up some skill that's going to help you get past a level gate somewhere else kind of thing. It's just fun. It might be the most anti-AAA game of 2024 in terms of pure design, because it doesn't seem like it in any way is obsessed with farming player retention or player telemetry. It's not getting anything from you in that sense. There's not a year-long content plan outside of the handful of bonus speedrun stages that were added kind of the month or two after it. There's no online multiplayer.
Free Christmas DLC.
Well, that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there's nothing in there that's we'll wait until phase 2 of the season pass that comes out next year. There's none of that kind of garbage. It's all self-contained. It's 15 hours maybe to beat it all, maybe a little bit longer if you really want to kind of stretch it out. But it will capture the heart of literally any person who plays it. And I would say, as we did when it was first brought up by us, it's worth buying a PlayStation 5 for if you don't have a console. Not a PlayStation 5 Pro. Don't waste your money with that. But it is absolutely worth having a PlayStation console to play. And I just want Sony to keep making more interesting stuff, as well as whatever they're doing with their marquee kind of story-based big things. Just make sure they don't forget that there's a huge market for this stuff as well, both in terms of developers going, yes, I really love that because mechanically it was great, but also just players going, yeah, it was fun, wasn't it? Imagine that. I put the game in and I just had fun. Then when I stopped having fun, I turned it off and I came back another day and had a bit more fun. It's just frictionless. It's really, really great.